Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about Advanced Warfare multiplayer information. I have some legit scoops that you're only going to be getting to see right here on this channel because I got it directly from the horse's mouth. As ridiculous as this sounds, I got a phone call from Michael Condrey, who is the co-founder and studio head over at Sledgehammer Games. He literally called me up during the middle of E3 to talk about some multiplayer stuff on Advanced Warfare and wanted to use this channel and you guys, my audience, to kind of debut the information. So awesome. Gameplay that we're watching right here is J-Hub and Ronaldinho. J-Hub's a friend of the channel. He's in a lot of videos with me. And Ronaldinho is another pub stomper, and they are playing against Karma, Proof, and Miracles here on Call of Duty Ghosts. This is about as competitive of a public match as you could possibly ever expect to see. I'm still traveling a bit, so I didn't have the time to get my own gameplay, but J-Hub was more than glad enough to show this off. Anyway, I got a call from Michael Condrey to talk about multiplayer stuff, and when I first picked up the phone, he was very serious when he was talking to me by saying that he takes community feedback very, very seriously. Esports, all this sort of stuff. Made a differentiation between esports in general, like public community players, guides, you know, personalities, that sort of thing. And he saw the video on the multiplayer movement that I did, and we talked about that a little bit. And he also said he saw some of the comments about some of the equipment potentially being in multiplayer and how some people thought it would be OP or overpowered and that sort of stuff. We talked for a while, but I'm going to give you some nice juicy quotes and confirmed information. One of these is, quote, "Of course the Exos will be in multiplayer. We spent a ton of time designing them and building our game around them. I'm not yet ready to say exactly how they will be in multiplayer, but we didn't spend all that design time just for them to be in the campaign." End quote. So that's the end of that little quote right there. It's a paraphrased quote, mind you, not a perfect one because I didn't record the call. That would be a little bit weird, but that confirms that exoskeletons will be in multiplayer. They will be doing something. What I gleaned from that is that they won't be purely cosmetic. They'll have some sort of function to them. However, he was pretty nondescript on exactly what they would be doing. I have my own theories. You have your theories. A lot of people have other theories, but for now I'm just going to keep it to myself. Another thing that we talked about was movement, because again, he saw the movement video, and I talked about that and how I thought that one of the things I saw was multiplayer. And I've got another nice quote for you here. It says, "We wanted to make movement feel familiar to other CoD games, but also added a few changes. We wanted to make a really fast Call of Duty game." This lines up again with what I saw in the private briefing. It looked fast-paced. I don't know if I mentioned that in the video or not because I was speculating pretty hard already, but it seemed like they were moving around the map at a pretty good fast-paced. You know, games, depending on how they're built and how they play, some are considered slow, some are considered fast, tactical rushing, whatever. This seemed a slightly more fast-paced one. And after we were done talking about the movement a little bit, I brought up the smart grenades, which you saw in the campaign trailer. Not the cycling through them, that's actually a pretty neat feature, but the ones you throw in the air and hover and go and attack somebody, and the shields and the scanner grenades and the laser rifles and all the other sort of crazy things that we talked about. And what he said is that, quote, "Multiplayer is a core part of our game. It's been getting a lot of attention and development time. We are not yet ready to reveal the gadgets that will be in multiplayer." And that's kind of an end quote, but that obviously implies that some of these gadgets, some of this equipment will be in multiplayer. The word gadgets was used a couple of times. I don't know if gadgets is going to be a replacement for equipment, or this was a casual phone call. He could have just said that offhand, but some of the equipment that you're seeing in campaign may or may not be in multiplayer. I would guess that some of it is. But then we had a really long talk about whether or not that would be overpowered, because that shield and the smart grenades, that looked like some pretty ridiculous stuff to me. And he said, quote, "I want to," and this is kind of cutting off the sentence, "but I want to make it clear that they won't be OP." I followed up on that, and he said, and I'll quote this one, "Most of the multiplayer dev team are former or current Call of Duty players, a few esports guys." He talked about Dr. Disrespect a little bit, and they've all been playing Call of Duty at least up through the last couple of years, the last couple cycles that I'm sure that most of you have played through. And they said that based on their experiences, they're working on their game, and they're trying to make really sure that nothing launches OP. They want to make, and this, I'll go ahead and end the quote here before the launch. They want to make sure that they want to make a game that's balanced before it launches, and we talked, and he just assured me over and over and over again that nothing would be overpowered and that it would be balanced and it would be okay and that they've got a plan for it. And I felt like I was kind of being the damsel in distress or the squeaking wheel, and he was just grabbing me, shaking me like, "Don't worry, you gotta trust me, the game will be fine, just trust me, it's not going to be overpowered." Little joke here and there, dry humor, whatever. And near the end of the conversation, I thanked him for calling me kind of out of the blue to talk about multiplayer stuff. Definitely not what I was expecting on a Wednesday afternoon. And he just said, no, it's like, it's not a big deal. They said that, you know, they take community feedback and esports players very, very seriously, and that the game is made for us to enjoy. Like, if we have something to say about the game, something important, or some sort of misunderstanding or miscommunication, it's really important that they make it clear. And we had our chat, and that was kind of good. I had some butterflies. I was feeling good inside. Like, yes, community is important. You know, the feedback and all that. I mean, they see all that stuff on Reddit and Twitter and whatever. It's not invisible. They can't read every comment, but there's a general gist, and they get the feedback. So that's what I've got for this video. A little bit shorter than what I'd planned. I'd like to stretch it out for 10 minutes so I can run more ads, but whatever. Anyway, so facts in summary: exoskeletons confirmed for multiplayer. They were not yet ready to tell me exactly what they would or wouldn't be doing, but they'll be in multiplayer, and I kind of get the sense that they're not just going to be cosmetic. Movement's going to be fast-paced, designed to be a fast-paced Call of Duty game. They worked, or they are currently working, not worked in the past tense, work very hard to make sure that nothing's overpowered, and that there's definitely going to be gadgets in multiplayer. Definitely going to be, I guess I could call it maybe a new equipment class, or maybe equipment would be an appropriate word, but some of the crazy high-tech stuff is going to be in multiplayer. But again, they're trying to work really hard to make sure that it's balanced before launch, and a lot of just over and over again, take the community seriously, take the esports seriously, make sure that everybody's happy. And yeah, it was kind of a PR-oriented conversation to dispel misinformation, but it was still really awesome to get a personal call like that. Just that's a new one on me, so thanks if you're watching the video out there somewhere. And for those of you watching this, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.